Most high achievers deal with a special type of anxiety, and that is a double-edged sword for them. It is the type of anxiety that helps them achieve success early in their careers, but slowly becomes the type of anxiety that keeps them stressed and restless all the time. I saw this problem firsthand while running my advisory firm, while my co-founder would raise funds from ultra high net worth individuals. And I saw this problem repeatedly from founders doing 3 to 5 million a year, to billionaires who had amassed generational wealth. However, there is one oddly specific method that I have used to overcome this type of anxiety for myself that has helped me sleep better, make clearer decisions for my business, and become the level-headed strategic leader that I needed to be for my team and family. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what this method is, why it is scientifically proven, and I'll teach you how you can do it too in order to feel the difference by the end of this video. Now, let's start by defining what anxiety is so that we can understand what it is and why it exists. This is important because most high achievers think they have the anxiety because of an external reason, like not hitting their Q4 targets when the marketing department is struggling. And this is simply not true. The basic definition of anxiety is our body's response to perceived danger. If you are someone who's had a successful career or business, here's the better definition. High achievers' anxiety is our body's response to perceived danger towards our self-worth. Now let me explain. You likely have anxiety and you work insanely hard because somewhere along your childhood, your parents behaved in a way that demonstrated that you are only worthy of being loved when you've done something right. Now, let me give you some common examples. Maybe as a child, you had to win a math competition just so your dad would be genuinely interested in what you had to say. Or maybe you had to become the man of the household or the woman of the household so that your mom wouldn't get angry. Or maybe you had to be super careful of what you said and what you did around your parents so that they wouldn't get annoyed at you. These are the exact situations that taught you the belief that if I behave and meet these external expectations of how I should be, then I am good. All right, if you're still watching at this point, there are probably two types of methods you've very likely tried in order to get rid of this high achiever's anxiety. Method 1, the symptom solvers. The breath work, the spiritual stuff, the vague pieces of advice that annoys you because realistically, how effective is breathing in a weird pattern or taking a 15-minute walk at truly getting rid of the stress that you face on a daily basis? Now, I'm not saying that these don't work. I'm only saying that they solve the symptoms very temporarily. Method 2, common sense. You've tried using logic and common sense to self-soothe, right? To tell yourself that not hitting Q4 targets isn't that big of a deal because technically you have a new product launch next year that will recoup all the lost profits. Or maybe you tell yourself that waking up at 3 or 4 a.m. with tension in your body is just how your body is, even though you're beyond tired. Now, you know why method 1 doesn't work. But why doesn't method 2 work? Why doesn't logic work for this when it's the same thing that worked at building your company or your career? It is because there are two separate zones in our brains. One that controls logic and another that controls our anxiety. First, the survival zone. The survival zone in our brain controls automatic behaviors like running away from danger or emotions like anxiety. Because remember, anxiety is a response to perceived danger. This is also the zone where the belief that your self-worth is tied to performance is stored, because your ability to survive when you were young was tied to how closely you were bonded to your parents. Lastly, the survival zone is scientifically proven to overpower any other part of your brain because survival was what you were built to do. Second, the logical zone. The logical zone in our brain controls strategy, common sense, and logic, all the things that build your success. This means that the logical zone in your brain could be working really hard at rationalizing your anxiety, but because your anxiety is stored in a different part of your brain, you cannot logic your way out of anxiety. You now understand the structure of anxiety. let me show you the exact method I personally use to fix this for myself and the people I work with. It is a method where we actively connect the logical zone in our brain to the survival zone in our brain and tell our anxiety, hey, everything's actually fine, chill out. This method I use is called Little Me Rewiring. This is where we imagine two personalities or two archetypes within our brains. Personality 1, this is the little you. This is the young, innocent, sweet, loving, charming, adorable little version of you, and he or she could be 5 to 12 years old. This is also known as a survival zone in our brain. And personality 2, this is the big you. It's an adult, mature, responsible, able, capable, competent version of you, and he or she could be whatever age you are now. This is also the logical zone in your brain. And what we do during the Little Me rewiring process is we talk to ourselves or write to ourselves, and we switch between the little you and the big you. And here's how a conversation or dialogue between yourself could look like. Now, I recommend you actually have a conversation with yourself out loud and put your hand on your heart as you're doing this. Really commit. Big Sean says, "Hey, little Sean, I see that you're really stressed and have been having trouble sleeping recently. Can you tell me what's going on?" "Hey, Big Sean, yeah, I feel really worried that if we don't achieve our goals, something's bad gonna happen. I don't know. I just need to get this goal. I just need to get this done." I can totally see why this is important to you, little Sean. I'm curious, what will happen though if you achieve this goal? What would happen when you do achieve this goal? "I'll be able to make more money, my team will love it, it'll just make everything better." Why is making more money in your team and all these things so important to you, little Sean? "If I just make more money, I can pamper my wife more, I'll feel recognized by my team, and they'll finally love me." I can understand why that is so important, little Sean. We all need love. But what if you don't achieve your goal? What if your partner doesn't see that you've pampered them or bought them a new bag or a new thing? "I don't know. I just feel like I need it and I'm really tired, Big Sean." I understand, little Sean. I can hear just how tired you are. But let me tell you this. Whether you achieve this goal or not, I'm gonna be here for you and I'm gonna love you. You could fail miserably and I will be here to care for you. Do you understand? "Yes, Big Sean, I think I understand. Thank you." Good. I'll speak to you soon, little Sean. Goodbye for now. Now, I know this seems a little cuckoo and cringe, right? But this is the same method that I used to get through the worst periods ever in the business, right? Ever as I was building out my advisory as well. Now, the secret is to genuinely visualize how little you looks or how he or she might speak. And when I personally do this exercise, I speak in a little baby voice to represent little Sean, right? Now, if you commit to it, I promise you it will work. And if you do this consistently, just for the next 7 days, I promise you will lower your baseline of anxiety that you feel on a daily basis. You'll become less reactive, you'll sleep better, you make better decisions. Also, don't be alarmed if you become ultra emotional while doing this. If you commit to it, the first time I ever did this, I was crying out, being like, who taught this version of myself all these bad, negative, insane lessons? The final part of keeping this anxiety away for good once you've done this exercise is by gathering evidence for the brain, right? Evidence that you deserve to be loved for simply existing. So go up with your friends and let them care for you. Let them buy you a meal without having to return a favor or do something for them, right? Or be with your romantic partner. Just sit in their presence and allow yourself to be loved and cared for by them. And this is what I did with friends and family. And this will show your brain that your existence is enough to be loved. Now, I've just shown you how to overcome high achievers anxiety so you can become the best version of the CEO, founder, leader, entrepreneur that you could be. The next phase I would highly recommend you to do is to build intrinsic motivation. Now, this is a particular type of motivation that Kobe, Elon, Rafael Nadal, Bezos have that make them unstoppable, right? And I recommend that you watch this specific video on screen here to do exactly that.